The wind howled across the barren landscape, whipping sand into miniature tornadoes that danced and swirled across the dunes. Above, the sun beat down mercilessly, turning the world into a shimmering mirage. This was a land where survival was a daily victory, and where secrets older than time itself lay buried beneath the shifting sands. Hidden in this unforgiving terrain was a city of legend, a place whispered about in hushed tones around flickering campfires. Its name was Eloria, and it was said to be the repository of knowledge so profound it could change the course of human history. Or it was just a crazy old man's ramblings, right? Well, for centuries, nobody knew. That was until Elara came along. Elara wasn't your typical archaeologist. Sure, she loved the thrill of the dig, the feel of ancient soil under her fingernails, and the way the past seemed to sigh its secrets to those who truly listened. But what set her apart was her obsession, her burning need to find the legendary city of Eloria. You see, Elara's grandfather had disappeared searching for this mythical place decades ago, leaving behind only his weathered journal filled with cryptic notes and tantalizing clues. And now Elara stood at the edge of a massive dune, staring into a gaping hole that had been concealed by sand for centuries. An opening carved with arcane symbols beckoned like the entrance to a tomb, promising untold mysteries and perhaps the key to her grandfather's disappearance. Behind her, her small team of archaeologists and adventurers waited, their faces a mixture of excitement and apprehension. There was Marcus, the burly team leader, whose calm demeanor hid a sharp intellect. Beside him was Zara, the historian, her eyes sparkling with intellectual curiosity. And then there was Finn, the wiry scout whose knowledge of the desert was as vast as the dunes themselves. Together, they had braved sandstorms, venomous serpents, and scorching heat to reach this moment. And now, as Elara took a deep breath and stepped forward, they all shared one thought. They were about to rewrite history or die trying. As Elara descended into the gaping maw of the earth, the sunlight faded from her face, replaced by the flickering glow of torchlight. The air grew cooler, damper, and a low, constant hum reverberated through the ground, vibrating in their bones. What they found inside was nothing short of breathtaking. Walls stretched into the gloom, covered in intricate carvings that seemed to shift and writhe like living things. Cryptic celestial maps traced along their surfaces, hinting at a deeper understanding of the cosmos than any Elara had seen before. Towers soared above them, capped with what might have once been shining metal, now tarnished and crumbling. And at the far end, a colossal statue loomed, its features worn smooth by the passage of time, yet its gaze unwavering and intense. It was clear that this was no ordinary place. Eloria was not just a city, it was a testament to a long-forgotten civilization, a people who had reached for the stars and touched the face of the divine. Lost and found again, Elara felt a surge of triumph mixed with a profound sense of humility. This was the culmination of years of research, countless dead ends, and a lifetime of yearning. Yet, as she looked deeper into the city's heart, she saw signs of a recent presence, footprints in the dust, tools laid aside, and a faint firelight dancing in the distance. Had she been the first to find Eloria in centuries? Or were there others who had beaten her to the punch? Curiosity piqued and determination hardening her gaze, Elara decided to explore further. The city might hold answers to her grandfather's disappearance, but it also held dangers. The team quickly discovered signs of a warning system, pressure plates embedded in the floor, tripwires strung across pathways, and faint runes glowing faintly on the walls. It was as though the city itself were a sleeping giant, ready to awaken and defend its secrets. Days turned into weeks as the team carefully explored the sprawling ruins, mapping out the city, deciphering its ancient language, and piecing together the story of a lost people. But Eloria was not giving up its secrets easily. Just when they thought they had the upper hand, more traps were triggered, more dangers revealed. One afternoon, as Elara and Zara were examining a particularly complex mechanism, the ground rumbled. From the corner of her eye, she saw a thin crack spider web outwards from beneath her foot. In a heartbeat, the whole room seemed to tilt and shift. Before she could react, the earth gave way and she tumbled into darkness. Down below, trapped in a pit lined with jagged stones, Elara felt despair clawing at her. Was this the end? Would she die here, forgotten in the belly of a forgotten city? But then a rope ladder dropped into the abyss, and a gruff voice called down to her, "Don't worry, we got you." Relief flooded Elara as she hauled herself up, meeting the concerned faces of her team. Safe, but shaken, she noticed something strange. Etched into the wall beside the trap was a symbol she had seen before, the same one that had marked the entrance to the city, the one that had beckoned her to this place of mystery. Could it be that these symbols held the key to unlocking Eloria's secrets? Fueled by renewed determination, Elara led her team back to the central chamber where they had first encountered the mysterious mechanism. Here, under the watchful gaze of the colossal statue, the team made a shocking discovery. Hidden beneath the floor was a circular indentation that matched the symbol on the wall of the trap. Could this be a keyhole, a way to unlock the city's deepest secrets? The idea was audacious, almost reckless, but Elara couldn't resist the allure of the unknown. With trembling hands, she placed the stone slab into the slot. As the final piece slotted into place, the mechanism whirred to life, bathing the chamber in blinding light. From the corner of her eye, Elara saw a section of the wall slide aside, revealing a staircase that spiraled downwards into darkness. What lay at the bottom of this subterranean shaft? Was it the answer to her grandfather's disappearance, the fabled treasure of Eloria, or something else entirely? With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Elara led her team down the stairs. The air grew colder, heavier, and the sound of dripping water echoed around them. The light from their torches danced in the moisture, turning the walls into glistening, ever-shifting mirages. Finally, the tunnel opened into a vast cavern, and Elara gasped. Before her stood a magnificent crystal structure, humming with energy, its facets catching and magnifying the team's torchlight. Runes glowed softly along its surface, pulsing with a faint rhythm. This was the heart of Eloria, the source of its power, and it was alive. The crystal thrummed with energy, resonating deep within Elara's bones. As she approached, the humming grew louder, and the glyphs on the crystal flared to life, bathing the cavern in otherworldly hues. Then, as suddenly as it started, the light show ended. The runes dimmed, and the crystal hummed softly once more, as though pondering the audacity of intruders. But the surprise wasn't over. From the depths of the cavern came a sound, a deep, resonant voice that seemed to emanate from the very stones themselves. "Who dares disturb the slumber of Eloria?" The voice boomed, echoing off the crystal spires. The ground trembled, and the air crackled with energy. "We come in peace," Elara called back, raising her hands in a gesture of goodwill. "I am Elara, seeker of knowledge. I mean you no harm," the voice rumbled, considering her words. "Very well, Elara, you have shown respect. I will grant you audience, but trespass no further." The cavern rumbled, and the crystal structure began to glow. A pathway of light emerged, leading deep into the heart of the structure. With a mix of awe and trepidation, Elara led her team forward. The path wound through a labyrinth of glowing tunnels, each turn revealing new wonders. Glowing flora, unlike anything Elara had ever seen before, carpeted the ground, and strange, beautiful creatures with luminous eyes watched them pass. Finally, the tunnel opened into a vast chamber at the center, a sphere of pure white crystal suspended in midair. The air shimmered with celestial energy, and constellations flickered across the crystal's surface, mirroring the night sky above. This was the heart of Eloria, the nexus of its power, but they were not alone. Emerging from the shadows were figures cloaked in robes adorned with the same celestial patterns as the city walls. Their faces were hidden behind masks that resembled the constellations, their eyes glowing with an eerie light. "Who are you?" Elara demanded, her voice echoing in the vast chamber. "We are the keepers of Eloria," one of the figures spoke, his voice echoing with power. "And you have trespassed into the most sacred place of our ancestors, and that's where we'll leave off today's episode. Will Elara be able to convince the keepers that she means them no harm? What secrets does Eloria hold, and how will Elara escape with her life? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.